You open your VA records and find an examination report you barely remember. There is an address you stopped using years ago. A decision mentions some evidence, but you are not sure what happened to the rest. Your first thought might be, is this proof that something went wrong? Maybe, maybe not. An inconsistency is a lead, not a verdict, and that distinction is the discipline we are going to practice today.
Welcome to the Veteran Benefits Reset Podcast, where we help veterans and their families better understand the VA disability benefits process, one step at a time. I'm your host, Cameron Burrell, a U.S. Army veteran and founder of VetBiz Media. Today, we are taking a practical tour of the VA claims file, commonly called the C file. Our central idea is simple. A C file is most useful as a map, not a verdict. Your first job is not to prove the VA wrong. Your first job is to identify what the record says, what it does not say, and what needs to be verified.
That approach can make a large file feel less intimidating. We will look at the kinds of documents a C file may contain, compare it with the records you keep at home, and build a simple review log. We will also talk about unfamiliar documents, apparent gaps, privacy, and questions for a VA-accredited veteran service organization, claims agent, or attorney. This is independent educational information. It is not legal advice, medical advice, or individualized claims advice, and procedures can change. Verify current instructions through official VA resources and seek accredited guidance when appropriate.
Let us use a general example. We will call this veteran Marcus. Marcus served several years ago, filed a claim, received a decision, and later gathered additional civilian medical records. Now he has access to a large packet of VA records. He recognizes some service treatment records. He sees a knee examination from 2021. He finds a private treatment note from 2018. Then he notices an old address and a letter he does not remember receiving.
Marcus has two choices. He can read the file from the first page to the last page, trying to interpret every sentence, or he can first build a map. The map comes first. It helps him understand the shape of the record before he decides what deserves a closer look. That is the move I want you to remember. Map first, interpretation second.
So what might be in that map? The honest answer is that contents vary, but many claims files include applications and forms, notices and correspondence, service treatment records, personnel documents, evidence submitted during the claims process, examination reports, medical opinions, and rating or decision documents. You may also see records from earlier claims, requests for information, statements, appeal paperwork, and notes showing attempts to obtain evidence.
Here is a helpful distinction. Some documents describe your service. Some describe a condition, symptoms, treatment, or an examination. Some explain a decision. Others show communication, a request for records, an appointment notice, or a letter saying the VA needed more information. A document can be important without being a final decision. A medical report can contain observations without answering every question about service connection or evaluation. That is why the document's role matters as much as the document's title.
Marcus begins sorting his file into broad groups. Service and personnel records go together. Medical records and examination reports go together. Correspondence and decisions get their own sections. He is not deciding what each page proves. He is simply asking, what kind of record is this, and where does it fit in the timeline? That question keeps the first pass manageable.
Now, the C file is not automatically your complete military record. It is not necessarily your complete civilian medical record, employment record, or personal evidence collection. A claims file reflects records that were received, associated, or otherwise available in the VA process. Your own files may contain other laboratory results, specialist notes, pharmacy records, employment documents, deployment materials, or correspondence.
For Marcus, the VA file includes a service treatment record, one examination, selected private records, and several notices. His home collection includes additional treatment notes and employment paperwork.
Neither collection should automatically be treated as the complete story. They are two sources that may need to be compared carefully. A difference between them does not, by itself, establish that something was ignored or mishandled. It tells Marcus that a question may need to be verified.
That is also why organization matters before emotion takes over. A large record packet can bring back difficult memories. It can also create urgency. I have to solve this tonight. You do not. Take a breath. Review a few pages at a time. If the material becomes overwhelming, pause and involve a trusted family member, caregiver, or qualified professional if that is appropriate for you.
Here is the review method. Use paper, a spreadsheet, or a secure digital note. Create 4 columns: date, document type, subject, and question. That is enough for a first pass. You are not writing a legal brief. You are building a map.
Marcus starts with the date, March 2018. The document type is VA correspondence. The subject is a request for additional evidence. His question is, what response or submission is connected to this notice, and where would I look for it? He does not write, the VA ignored my evidence. He records what he sees and what he needs to clarify.
Next, he finds a July 2021 examination report. He records the date, the document type, and the general subject, knee condition. His question becomes, what issues does this examination address, and how does its date relate to the surrounding records? Again, notice the language. Question about. Needs clarification, not conclusion.
You can add a 5th column if it helps. Status. Use simple terms such as recognized, unfamiliar, duplicate, or needs clarification. Do not write a long interpretation beside every page. On the first pass, record the title, date, and subject. If a report contains medical terminology you do not understand, mark it for discussion instead of trying to diagnose yourself. If a decision contains legal or regulatory language that is unfamiliar, copy the exact phrase into your question log.
What should you notice? You may find duplicate records, an old address, a name variation, an examination you do not remember, or a gap between 2 dates. You may see different descriptions of the same condition. These details deserve attention, but they do not automatically establish an error or determine an outcome. A duplicate may be a legitimate copy. An unfamiliar examination may have been scheduled under a different description or handled by a contractor. An apparent gap may reflect the limits of the records you received.
When you find something unexpected, ask 3 questions. What exactly am I looking at? Where does it fit in the timeline? What would confirm or clarify it? Those questions are stronger than jumping straight to, this proves the VA ignored my evidence. Facts over frustration does not mean ignoring concerns. It means giving those concerns a structure that another person can review.
Let us return to Marcus. The old address bothers him because he is not sure whether a notice reached him. His review log does not claim that the notice was lost. It records the date, the address shown, the notice type, and a question about how delivery or communication is documented. That gives an accredited representative something specific to examine. Specific questions travel farther than general frustration.
Once your log is started, keep the question list short. 3 or 4 questions are often easier to discuss than 25. You might ask, which documents appear to be key decision records? Is there a document I should locate or request to clarify the state? How should I understand this phrase in the decision? What current review or assistance options should I verify through official sources?
Those questions do not tell a VSO, claims agent, or attorney what conclusion to reach. They give that accredited professional a clear starting point. Ask how they prefer to receive records. Bring only the relevant pages when possible, along with your log. Do not post a C file publicly or send it casually through an unsecured channel. Keep a secure, complete version for yourself, and use working copies when appropriate.
If a family member or caregiver is helping, decide what information they may access and how it will be stored. Claims files can include health information, service history, addresses, financial details, and information about other people. Protect that material. Good preparation includes good information handling.
What if you do not have the records you need? Check current official VA instructions for requesting or accessing available records. The process, format, and timing can vary, so do not treat an old forum post or another person's experience as the final word. Verify current information through official VA resources. An accredited representative may also help you understand which records could be relevant to your questions.
And set reasonable expectations. The records you receive may not answer every question immediately. They may contain duplicates. They may use terminology that requires explanation. That does not mean the review failed. Organize what arrives, compare it with your own collection, and add only the questions that remain. One clear question is progress.
Before we close, here is your practical assignment. First, locate your available VA records or review current official instructions for requesting them. Second, create a log with date, document type, subject, and question. Third, choose one question to verify with a VA-accredited VSO, claims agent, or attorney. Just one. You do not need to review every page tonight, and you do not need to predict a claim outcome.
Here's the takeaway. A C file may contain applications, service and personnel records, medical evidence, examinations, correspondence, and decisions. It can show what information was available in the VA process, but it is not automatically your complete personal, military, medical, or employment record collection. Review it as a map. Record what you see. Mark surprises as questions. Protect your privacy. Then get qualified help with the parts you cannot responsibly interpret alone. One step, one record, one mission.
Thanks for listening to the Veteran Benefits Reset podcast. If today's episode helped you understand your C-file, follow the podcast, leave a review, and share it with another veteran, family member, or caregiver who may benefit. This show is an independent educational resource, not legal or medical advice, and it does not replace guidance from an accredited professional.
To download the free 7-step Veteran Benefits Reset Guide and organize your military, medical, employment, and VA records, visit vetbizmedia.com/veteran7. Verify current information through official VA resources and consult a VA-accredited veteran service organization, claims agent, or attorney when appropriate.
Your service did not expire. Your story is still worth reviewing. Stay organized. Stay informed. And take the next responsible step.